morning, everybody. I think you can hear me all quite clearly. My name is Saurav Chopra. I am Director of Internet Services at Byte Mobile. I'll tell you a little bit more about what we do as Byte Mobile, and then talk about our area of expertise, which is around mobile entertainment and mobile internet. So just trying to work the wireless mouse. Just a quick overview of who we are as Byte Mobile and what we do. Byte Mobile was founded in 2000. We are headquartered in California. We are the leading provider of IP services to mobile operators worldwide. We are deployed with over 111 mobile network operators in 57 countries, and 12 of the top 15 worldwide operators are our customers. We serve over 1.5 billion users worldwide through our technology, including our most recently announced customer, China Mobile, which has half a billion subscribers. This is just coverage of our customer base. So as you can see, pretty much worldwide presence. Our biggest operations are in the EMEA region, and what this allows us to do is see mobile network traffic in real time. Because we see mobile data in real time through the networks, we get a very good understanding of what's happening in different parts of the world when it comes to mobile internet and mobile internet trends and patterns. So I'm not sure how many of you here are familiar with the world of mobile entertainment and mobile content. So first of all, I wanted to throw out some kind of definitions and information. So if you all are familiar with this, just bear with it for a few more seconds. So what is mobile entertainment? Mobile entertainment, if you look at most market definitions, is captured in mainly 5 different categories. One is mobile music, which is ringtones and audio downloads and things like that. Mobile games, of course. Gambling, adult-oriented content, sports entertainment, alerts, and news, and mobile TV video, which is increasingly seeing a lot of usage. So these are the 5 broad areas I would categorize mobile entertainment content into. So if there are any questions during the presentation, please just feel free to stop me if something just comes to your mind. It's probably easier that way. So I just wanted to throw out some numbers to give you a perspective of the mobile industry. I know this conference has got a very strong internet online flavor to it, but I thought it'd be good to just talk about how big the industry is in terms of pure numbers. So on the left, you see the mobile industry revenue. So total mobile industry revenue worldwide is about $1.1 trillion. This is many, many orders of magnitude more than what the online advertising business is, for example. Of that $1.1 trillion, about services, which is the access, data, voice, SMS that we pay, is about 80%, which comes to about $835 billion. And then the rest is about $50 billion in terms of infrastructure, which is Nokia, Siemens, Ericsson, and the likes, and handsets business, the iPhones and the Nokias of the world, around 20%, so $200 billion. So the operators are responsible for about $840 billion going through the networks. Of the $840 billion, data revenue is about 20%, but growing very quickly. And the data revenue, therefore, comes to around $160 billion. And of the data revenue, the content business in itself is, in 2008, was projected to be around $16 billion. So I just wanted to throw a rough sense of the numbers that how big the mobile entertainment, mobile content industry is. And if you put things in perspective, the internet advertising revenues worldwide were around $65 billion. So mobile content and $65 billion includes the revenue from the likes of Yahoo, Google, and some of the biggest internet companies in the world. Mobile entertainment is also projected to grow very rapidly from based on most industry reports over the next 5 years, so from 16 billion to around $32 billion. And here you will see the mix of what is supposed to grow and how does it distribute currently. So if you look at the current numbers, mobile games and music, ringtones and games is pretty much what captures almost 75% of the current $16 billion. So, close to about $11 billion is just pure ringtones and games. And then you have wallpapers, images, some video contribution. A lot of the growth in the future is going to come from what we see are, mobile applications. So, obviously, we see a lot of news about the Apple iPhone App Store. 2 billion applications have been downloaded. So, and most operators and handset manufacturers are introducing new applications. So that's where we see a lot of the growth coming from. If you look at what the standard feature phones, how the users use the phones, and how the smartphone users use the phones, there's a big difference, actually, and which further drives the fact that mobile entertainment is going to grow. So standard phones, the numbers using mobile TV or video around 4.5%, 5%, which is the mass market. If you look at the same for smartphones, it's 3 times more. And now, the iPhone, it's almost 6 times more usage. Similarly, if you look to music on the phone for the iPhone, it's about 75% of the users use the music or listen to music on the iPhone, about 28% for the smartphone, and basic feature phones, mass market, it's about 7%. So 4 times growth from basic mass market phones to smartphones, and almost 10 times for the iPhone. So we're seeing a strong proliferation of smartphones in the market, which means that, based on these numbers and usage patterns, mobile entertainment usage is only going to grow. So since the focus of this discussion is around personalization and the use of widgets in the mobile world, I wanted to talk first about what's happening with widgets and personalization in the online world. So what is a widget? Widget is a term which is used and bandied about in a lot of different contexts. So I wanted to throw out some very basic definitions so that we're all on the same page. The theoretical definition of a widget is a self-contained piece of code that opens up a doorway to a much larger application. There are different kinds of widgets that are used. So you've got desktop widgets which run on the desktop, like Yahoo widgets, Google Desktop, and Microsoft Gadgets. We also have web widgets which run in the browser. as you see in Facebook and MySpace or YouTube, and you use basically web-oriented widgets which are rendered from within the browser. So when it comes to mobile widgets, you've got client-side widgets, which run on the device screen itself. So on the screen of the device, whether it's idle screen or on-device portal, which are typically either installed by an operator or by handset manufacturers, or sometimes distributed through an application store. And then you have web-based runtime. So most Series 60 Nokia phones come with the Nokia web runtime so that you can run the widgets from within the browser. And then the area we focus on, which is server-assisted runtime, which is some of the code is running inside the server, inside the operator network, and some of the code is actually rendered from within the browser, irrespective of what that browser is. So Opera widgets also run on similar technology. So this is a rough kind of definition, basic definition of online and mobile widgets before we get into examples and use cases. So what has widgets and personalization done to the internet? Now let's look at 2005, the top sites on the internet worldwide. So you've got Yahoo, MSN, Google, eBay, usual suspects. And let's look at 2009. Google, Yahoo, and we have YouTube, Facebook, Blogger, MySpace. The ones which I have marked, these sites have been driven very heavily by personalization and the use of widgets. It's very clear that YouTube grew very, very fast when it was made available as widgets to be distributed over the World Wide Web. Similarly, Blogger, where you could cut and paste widgets from different blogs or different widgets into the Blogger blogs. So widgets and personalization have obviously featured very, very prominently in the top 10 sites on the internet in 2009 and have been responsible for the success and growth of these sites. Let's look at another example of some of the fastest growing sites. So this is an example of why Google, widgetized environments. You can completely personalize what is the information that you're looking for. Similarly, Yahoo has recently introduced a web redesign where you can cut and paste widgets from different internet portals, different internet destinations. This is a survey of US online subscribers, and it's about 63% of the US online subscribers have used online widgets. Some of them use it more than the others, and some less, of course. But 63% have. It's 2/3 of the audience have used it already. Now, the key question here is, what about mobile? I mean, how many people have actually used mobile widgets? I would suspect the number would be very, 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 very small compared to the percentage that we have here, which is 63%. Just wanted to show you another chart in terms of what personalization means. Personalization is not only something just good to have or nice to the user or good experience. It translates to direct monetization. Amazon.com, one of the biggest sites on the web, which does an incredibly good job at personalization. We see a lot of different things. For example, what Amazon recommends based on other people who have similar browsing behavior, for example, what other customers are buying. So a bunch of personalization widgets are included in the Amazon.com site. What does it mean in terms of financial uplift? So we see the calendar quarter years from, this is Q1 '02 to Q1 '08, and look at e-commerce sales for different sites. retail e-commerce sites, so the likes of Barnes and Noble and other such sites, which are US retail sites, compared to Amazon. So 19 percentage points difference in terms of the growth. So obviously, personalization is something that most internet properties are focused on to drive financial revenue, which comes from user stickiness and from user engagement. Now let's, once we have had a quick overview of the world of online, let's get into the world of mobile and why is the need we see for personalized mobile widgets. So based on our deployments across Western Europe within Byte Mobile, we sit in the network data path in real time, which means that every time a user accesses the mobile internet, we log it. And so we have a record of all the transactions. And therefore, we see traffic patterns, and which would be the case for most Western European operators. We aggregated the information, and we looked at what percentage of the page views are coming from the top 10 sites versus the long tail of sites. So our observation was that our top 10 sites contribute 45% of the page views, and then the long tail of sites generate close to 55%. Obviously, this would be different for different operators. This would be different. If you look at this number for iPhone, for example, it would be different. But this is an average view, an aggregate view of our key customers in Western Europe. So what this means is clearly there's a very strong pattern of usage which is focused towards the long tail. And when you have the long tail of usage, i.e., sites beyond the top 10 or beyond the top 20, it means the value of personalization increases a lot more. Different audiences are going to different sites, so you want to give them what they want. This is showing kind of similar pattern of long tail usage for iPhone applications. This is a number I took from AdMo. I think they did a very interesting study in terms of the application usage with 100K plus users, and in the application usage between 10 and 100K users. So again, the pattern is very, very long tail oriented, which is everybody wants their own personalized application which is relevant to their need, their context, and their usage pattern. Let's look at personalization. Is there any personalization on mobile web? Here, the users were asked for the iPhone, what drives their desire to download an application? So what we see is that a lot of this is pull-based behavior. Users are going, searching for applications, and getting what they want. So almost, 65, 70% of, 60 to 65% of the users on the iPhone and Android are browsing through the marketplace, seeing the top apps, or searching for a very specific app that they're looking for. Or someone has recommended things to them by word of mouth, advertising driven, or some articles on blogs, and others. So there is no personalization. There's no recommendation of the likes we see on the internet from Amazon, for example, which is other users who bought this app also bought this. Based on your browsing behavior, based on your application usage, we would recommend this. Now, recently, I believe a couple of weeks back, or maybe slightly more, Apple has introduced the Genius functionality for the iPhone, which recommends apps based on usage. But however, that is only for the iPhone, and it remains to be seen how successful it will be. Why is the mobile context interesting? We believe that the mobile context provides a channel for targeting which is not available in any other channel, online or print or any other advertising format or any other targeting format. You do not have so many parameters that are available to you to actually target specific applications, specific websites to users. Obviously, we know about location. Thanks to the network, the location information is readily available. The demographic information in terms of age, gender, phone plan is readily available. The purchase history, the operator has complete purchase history information for every user, whether a user has bought games or music. In their billing records, all this information is available. Browsing information is available in terms of the sites browsed, in terms of the category of sites browsed, through technologies such as Byte Mobile and similar technologies provided by other companies. The contextual context, which is what is the user browsing at that point in time, that is available. So if you look at internet advertising online, a lot of the targeted advertising is driven by the contextual context. A good example is AdSense, Google AdSense. They look at parts of the content of the page and serve the ads that are relevant to the content of the page. Browsing behavior, there's a lot of work in terms of behavioral targeting online, and it is seen to be quite successful in terms of the uplift it has resulted in campaigns. So these are the two areas where there's a lot of focus online, browsing behavior and the contextual context. If you look at the TV world, I believe a lot of the age, gender, and disposable income type behavior is presupposed based on what programs users see. So different channels have different targeting criteria that they are using, but no channel has got the wealth of information that a mobile context can offer to advertisers and to content publishers for targeting purposes, for personalization purposes. The other piece of information is obviously handset type. Now, handset type is important because given how different the handsets are, how fragmented the platforms are, it means that your application and your content needs to be targeted to specific handsets. It also gives you information on who are heavy internet users versus who are kind of medium to low internet users. For example, obviously iPhone users are very heavy mobile internet user. Real-time presence. This is really interesting from a mobile standpoint because given where a user is and in what they're doing with their phone, you can actually determine their status in real time. So if I'm on the phone, that can automatically be published, which means that you can target applications and advertising based on the real-time presence. If I'm underground, then obviously you don't want to send me an SMS marketing message because I won't receive it till much later. The real-time presence can be published. Again, this is not available in the internet world. So because of these 7 factors, we believe that the mobile context is very, very unique and much more richer than any other channels that support or advertising is pushed through. So I wanted to spend a little bit of time on what are the current approaches, what are companies doing, and what's that leading to. So in terms of the personalized widgets for mobile, a lot of the activity right now is driven by mobile operators. So here's an example of Orange, which has got this Jingo platform, which pushes widgets on the web. Then Vodafone launched a multi-million-dollar campaign about a week back on Vodafone 360. their CEO came out and said, it's all about the user, it's all about you. And Vodafone 360 is integrating the web, the fixed internet, and mobile through widgets, personalized widgets. And similarly, Vodafone also launched a Vodafone Widget Manager, which is available on select devices and publishes internet sites like Amazon and eBay on a select number of handsets. Now, the challenge for this approach is that, as you can see, the handset coverage is very limited. Any given market, you've got 300 plus devices being sold in some cases, and in some cases you have thousands of devices out there in the market. So clearly having 5 or 6 devices doesn't work when you want to build a service that scales across a large number of users. There are also a bunch of app stores. There's a lot of noise about app stores. Handset manufacturers, operators, everybody is launching app stores. September 2009, there are 23 app stores. So what does it mean as a developer? You can either develop for iPhone and BlackBerry or maybe Nokia, Ovi. But if you really want to provide coverage, you have to develop a very, very large number of applications and widgets which are compatible to different frameworks. And then they will only run on a select number of handsets. So there's a lot of noise, a lot of publicity around app stores, but is it really the best approach to drive application distribution, to drive mass market usage? Clearly, there's a lot of complexity. But what will happen in this market is that there will be a shakeout. Not all app store platforms will survive. And the big ones will be present, as we've seen on the fixed internet as well. And the application developers will then develop personalized widgets and applications for these large application stores. So talking about very quickly about Byte Mobile and what we do and what is our approach to personalized widgets. So as I said before, a very large number of these operator and handset initiatives, manufacturer initiatives, are really targeted towards very, very advanced phones and smartphones, and they need to be pre-installed. Our approach is targeting almost all phones that are out there in the market, which is, and I'll tell you a little bit later about how we do it. And so here's an interesting number from Credit Suisse in terms of smartphone growth. So, as we can see, smartphone worldwide is about 10% 2007 and 8, and then growing to about 22%. So you've got a 90% number here, which is not smartphones of usage. And similarly, even in 2014, the projections are that about 80% will be non-smartphones. So our approach is really based on this premise that we want to target all handsets that are out there through our solution from day one, and it's done in a clientless manner. So what I wanted to do now is really kind of switch to the demo, which will tell you, self-explanatory what we do. Okay, so that was a demo of the offering. I just wanted to quickly touch upon the key themes that you saw on the demo, and sorry, on the Flash demo. So what we were offering is, in a clientless manner, the ability to insert a personalized and dynamic toolbar on every page as the user is browsing. So this is done from inside the network. The user does not have to download anything. There's no client plugin download. There is no application download. There is nothing that the user needs to do. It is rendered from inside the network, and we're in a position to do that because of our deployments with operators worldwide inside the network. So what this means is that from day one, we can cover almost all devices. There's a server-assisted element to this, so some of the code runs inside the network, and some of the code runs inside the browser on the handset. Now, obviously, based on different device features and capabilities, the widget bar is going to look different for different users. So if for example, if the phone is JavaScript enabled, then your user experience is going to be different to if it's a very, very basic phone where it might just be a link through. So, however, that complexity is taken care of by us. We ensure that the product runs on thousands of devices because that's our business. So this is an example of how a widget bar would look like as deployed in a particular market. For example, you'd have a Yahoo icon with notifications saying these are the number of new messages that you have. Similarly, you have a Facebook notification, RSS feeds, and other widgets and applications that are of interest to the users. The key thing is that when you show user a notification, then obviously it leads them to click through and therefore drives user engagement. So we believe that if you give the user what they want, when they want it, personalize it to them, drives user engagement, which means it drives a lot more browsing usage and makes it available to the user in a one-click manner. Right now, when you go and browse on the mobile internet, you've got to go through many, many clicks. We're bringing one-click usage through the widget bar across all mobile internet traffic to end users, personalized to their experience and their browsing behavior. There are different monetization models associated with the widget bar, which we're seeing a lot of interest from our customers. And I'll touch upon that briefly. So I talked about personalization. So this is kind of from a screenshot standpoint. If you look at this is more of a social networking user. You want to show them Facebook widgets. You want to show them their Yahoo email and the likes. More sports-oriented information because the social networking user is usually in the younger demographic. Someone who's very heavily tracking the news. As a UK example, we would show them Sky, BBC, their favorite news feeds. Someone interested in finance, financialtimes.com, Wall Street Journal, and the likes. In terms of widgets, in terms of static links, depending on what is the closest updates. The important thing here, again, is that because it's done from inside the network and it is done in a clientless manner, different pages different widget bars can be shown to different users at different pages. There's no limit to this. It is completely flexible and customizable. So in terms of our initial deployments, these are just some examples where we've deployed it with customers. Just as a case study, this product is in initial deployment phase. So we've seen some very good results. We've seen that about 50% of the users that we show the widget bar to actively use the offering. Again, it's pretty obvious because we're personalizing it to what they want, and we're giving them one-click access or as few clicks as possible to get where they want. So instead of going to, clicking down the portal, typing the URL, if there's a one-click access to Facebook or Yahoo, they're bound to engage in it a lot more. We use a search box in different forms. We used either a search/URL or simply a search icon. And very active usage of the search, of the query feature, which is either search or going to a particular URL. We also saw a strong bias towards social networking, communication, news and entertainment usage, which is what people browse for on mobile typically. And then in terms of the clicks, we saw about per user who was using the widget bar, we saw about 5 clicks per week. 80% of the clicks tied to the home button, which typically would take them to the operator portal or the query feature, which is a search go-to URL. Now, 5 clicks per week on a widget bar for mobile is quite an interesting number because mobile internet usage is very sporadic. You know, it's not everybody uses every day certain things, and we're pretty confident that the number is going to grow. We also saw search usage grow about 67% in 6 months, and for search, for people who are using search, we saw about 79 queries per search user. Now, what I understand is that Google search numbers around 130 searches per user per month, and you know this is the number I last read. So the usage on the widget bar is about 25% of the internet searches per month, if you kind of look at it that way, which is something that's bound to grow, you know, given the infancy of the market. But we are very encouraged by these results. We also looked at the overall click-through rates when we added up the individual click-through rates for all the icons in the bar, and we saw about a cumulative around 6%, which I think was quite interesting. Because online toolbars like the Yahoo toolbar, Google toolbar do not generate that significant a click-through rate. And then when we looked at individual icons like the home or the search, we got about a click-through rate about north of 2%, which again was very encouraging. So we're in the process of continuously evolving this product and continuously tailoring it to the customers. And we're quite confident that these numbers will grow significantly over the next few years as we deploy this product. Okay, so I think I'm out of time, so I'll open it out to questions if there are some questions you want to ask. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Hi. I just wanted to, you mentioned that there are 23 app stores right now, and if you have to predict how many do you think are going to succeed, and do you actually believe in that model, or you just do widgets, and you think that widgets it's more suitable than apps?
Well, I think that you know, clearly 23 app stores will not survive. You know, no developer is going to build to 23 platforms. It doesn't make sense. There will be a shakeout, so these app stores will reduce in number. I believe that there will be a combination of apps and widgets which will coexist. Some usage is better done through apps, and some usage is better done through widgets. You know, if I need to do a Twitter update, you know, I might be in a better position to do it through a simple widget. If I have to get my Facebook inbox notification, I might be in a better position to do it through a widget. If I have to, you know, modify my travel history or, you know, my travel bookings, you know, I need an app, right? And I want it probably in a non-connected mode as well. So it's better done as an app when it's cached offline. So I think both will coexist. I think what will be interesting is to see how the in-browser widgets shake out. I think a lot of the activity is happening, you know, in that region, and it will eventually evolve even for mobile, you know, where in-browser widgets, which the developers develop to the browser as opposed to developing to a different platform will happen. And that's good for our business because we render from inside the browser.
We're actually sort of out of time.
Okay, so I'm around if there are any further questions. Happy to take them. Thank you. Thanks for your time.
Thank you too.